What's up YouTube? Thanks for tuning in this video. In this video, we're talking about the essential things you need to look for when buying land to start an RV park. But first, make sure to like this video and subscribe so we get off to a good start. All right guys, so buying a piece of property when investing in an RV park is extremely important. It's one of the most important aspects when you're starting in an RV park because you can't do it without land. So I'm gonna get right into it. First and foremost, I'll say if you haven't seen it, watch my video above here about the two different types of RV parks because that'll be very important when buying a piece of property and when considering a piece of land. Because though the two different types of RV parks are gonna vary completely and you gotta know which one you're in. So in that video, I spoke about affordable RV parks and tourist RV parks. Affordable RV parks are catered for affordability, catered for the average person, catered for the average worker. Tourist RV park is what it sounds like. It's catered towards tourism and travel. So when you're investing in a tourist RV park, there's a couple things you want to look for. Number one, a major interstate or major highway. So I'm in Central Texas. I'm right near Interstate 10, which is a major highway that goes from all the southwest part of the USA all the way to Florida. So that is a very major highway. A lot of people are going through that area. I am right off of the Interstate 10, so I get some traffic from that. And if you're a tourist RV park, that's gonna be a huge important thing. Number two is gonna be if you can get next to a national park or a state park. So let's say for instance, you're in Utah, try to get near some of the national parks. So, Arches National Park or something like that. Maybe you're in Arizona, you're close to the Grand Canyon. Wherever you're at, try to get near a national park or a state park. Every state has a state park pretty much. Not every state has a national park. National parks are better because they get more attraction, obviously, from the whole US and some of the world even, really. Places like the Grand Canyon you get from all over the world. So if you can get kind of close to those areas or at least within driving distance, that's gonna help you if you're a travel RV park. All right, perfect. And number three on this list is gonna be if you can get close to some, like lakes or rivers or, some cliff diving spots. Where I'm at here in Central Texas, 45 minutes from me, there's a cliff diving spot. It's kind of a real small town, but there's a unique kind of hidden cliff diving spot. Right at that cliff diving spot, there is a really cool RV park, and they get a lot of traffic from people that find this cool cliff diving spot, and they want to stay for a day and do some cliff diving, do some rope swinging and stuff like that. And so if you could maybe niche yourself in being right next to a lake or something where there's cool stuff to do, summer activities, that could be a profitable business for you and something different, really. It's kind of a smaller niche for sure, but I think that's a great idea. It's kind of getting near a piece of water or like a river or something like that. Maybe a place where there's like kayaking. I think that's really cool and something that, is going to attract people. So definitely try to get near some water if you can. And number four, this is kind of similar to lakes and rivers, but if you can get near the beach, another great spot, especially for tourist RV parks. I would say try to avoid like the Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi beaches because they don't really get a lot of tourism. But other than that, if you can try to get like near a Florida beach, like Pensacola or somewhere like that, that's gonna be great. Also, Savannah, Georgia, Carolinas, even Virginia, all those are great spots. And then on the West Coast, obviously California and Oregon, Washington. If you're near any kind of beach, you're probably gonna get some tourism for sure because people are always going near the beach. Everyone usually loves the beach. So try to get near those spots if you can. And lastly, try to get right outside of a big city. So also try to find fast-growing cities where there's a lot of tourism. I'm right outside of Austin, Texas. Austin is the number one fastest-growing city. There's tons of people visiting Austin. There's tons of people traveling through, checking it out, seeing what the hype's about. If you're right outside of Austin and you maybe are buying near a piece of water or you're buying near a state park or something like that, that's gonna be a great opportunity because a lot of people are traveling through some of these cities. So Austin's a great spot. Nashville, maybe even Salt Lake City. Denver is right by the Rocky Mountains, so if you can get like right outside of Denver, that's another great spot. Anywhere where there's it's like a fast-growing city and there's stuff around it, try to get near fast-growing cities. You're probably gonna do pretty good. All right, and kind of moving into now the affordable RV parks, I want to talk about a couple things. So number one, first, it's the same as the tourist RV park, but try to get near an interstate that is big if you can, because if you are catering for the everyday person, the worker, they're gonna most likely be commuting and they're probably gonna be using a major highway. So if you can get near a major highway, that's ideal, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker if you can't. but at least some public access to roads, and not just in the middle of nowhere, right? You want somewhere that has some major roads at least going through it, and ideally a town that's got at least a population of like 10,000 or more, maybe at the least 5,000, but 10,000 and up really is ideal, and at least some highways going through, right? And number 2 on this list, I think for an affordable RV park, is going to be trees. For me, I really like trees. A lot of RV parks take out all the trees, and I get it because they do take up space, but I think trees add a unique natural feel, especially for people that are staying for a long time. They have to see the RV park every day. And I get it if you're a tourist RV park, you're trying to, a lot of them take out most of the trees so they can fit more spots. But really, I think if you want people to stay for a while, create a nice green environment, the best of your ability, depending on where you are. But a lot of trees, I think, is ideal. It's going to provide privacy, it's going to provide shade, especially if you're in a hot area. I just like trees. I think trees are good to have on your property. Number 3 for affordable RV parks is going to be, if you can find a property that has a slight incline. To me, I like that. The reason why I like that is because I like to use water gravity. And also too, if you put your septic at the bottom, you have to spend less money on pumps. So it just works out in your favor. But essentially, if you can get an incline property in which you can put your water at the top and your septic at the bottom, everything can flow downhill. It's just an easier process. The installation of some of the big parts of infrastructure are just easier, and it's going to be, more accessible. You're not going to have to buy as much pumps, and you're not going to have to be shooting water up in different directions. That's just, to me, that's a kind of a small thing, but I would like it to be inclined if I can. And kind of similar to that, number 4 would be public utilities. If you can get access to public utilities when buying a piece of property, that is ideal. It's not the end of the world, but most likely the only way you can get public utilities is if you're in city limits. It maybe does exist kind of just outside of the city, but essentially if you could get your electric, septic, and water just right there, within close distance when you buy a piece of property, that makes it a lot easier, because when I bought my property, I did not have any public utilities, and so I had to really do everything from scratch, and it takes a lot longer. But if you have all those utilities already set up, they're right there, you just need to connect to them, that can save you a ton of time, and that can just be a much easier turnkey process for you. So look into that. If you can get public utilities, probably going to be a great opportunity. And then also too, piggybacking on that, number 5 or 5 or 6, I forgot the number, but that would be, if you can get like a simple piece of land, that's going to be your best bet, especially if you're building an RV park. So I was looking at a piece of property a month or 2 back, and it was a very interesting property, but it had a lot of hills, and a lot of it was kind of undevelopable. It was very interesting and eye-catching, but hard to build on. So I'd say if you could, ideally, like if you can get something that's easy to construct on, easy to build on, that's going to be your best bet. If it's got like certain obstructions that make it very difficult, it's got like crazy hills and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, like I think like you could make hills and all that look very cool. But if you're just starting off, it's probably better to just get like a flat piece of land and just something really easy to where you know what you're doing, versus like trying to really make it a tough fit on a side of a mountain or something. Like that just seems hard to me. So if I can just get a flat piece of land, that's gonna be better for you. It's gonna make everything easier. I just think like you're not ready for it if you're just starting off. You're not ready to really get creative with how you're putting all these people in. You're just trying to get it done. So look for a flat piece of land, it'll be good. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about RV parks, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want to see my video, how I started my RV park from scratch, make sure to check this one out to the side here. If you want to see my pros and cons of starting an RV park, take a look at this one as well. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.